Back to evaluating.
Yeah.
What's your process to make you so good? Like your MO is you're a 10 out of 10 as an evaluator. What do you do?
Well, I watch a tape. It's really not that hard.
What are you looking for?
What position?
I don't know. Let's say D
And
tackle.
You look for the person first. Let's say I try to find something good in every person. What is their strengths? What can we work with? Is there something we can work with? If you're an undersized guy, that's fine, but do you have the quickness, the speed, the strength, whatever you need to play to succeed, to be an undersized guy? Are you a big guy? Do you have the feet? Do you have the hands? Do you have the, tenacity, the effort, all that stuff plays into it. You have to just watch a tape. And then some guys are less productive than the others, and you try to find out why. Do they have some kind of redeeming quality that you can really work with, that you say, hey, this guy can be this guy if we work with him and get him in the weight room? Those are the hard ones, the project guys. The easy ones are easy. Saquon Barkley, I mean, goodness. Yeah, he's the fastest, got the best vertical, he's the most productive. Slam dunk. But not all of them are like that. Then you go into the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round type guys. Those guys get a little tricky. And those guys are actually equally as important to your football team as the first rounders.
Do you think you're better at any position?
I'd probably say quarterbacks. I'm the best, but just because I've played it, I'm very critical.
Because you know it the best. What do you look at when you look for a quarterback?
Well, I have to look at production, number one. I like to see how he's played over the years. How much has he played? And if he has only played as a senior, then why didn't he play as a junior? How good was the guy in front of him, for goodness sakes? You know what I mean? Jeez. And then I look for situational awareness. I look for accuracy. I look for ball placement, obviously. I look for how he handles heat. Pressure is very, very important. What does he look at when the pressure's coming? Does he look at the rush? Does he keep his eyes downfield? Can he escape? Can he ever so slightly move to his right and left to stay in a throwing position and get the ball out? Or does he have to scramble and spin around and do 360 pirouettes to try to get away from the rush? I like looking at accuracy under pressure, situational awareness, wins, losses, production, all that good stuff. Throwing the move.
Do you care about the technique, like the footwork? Everyone makes a big deal out of these college quarterbacks not having gone under center, and they're not going to have footwork to go under center, feel comfortable. They're throwing motion if it's unconventional. Do you care about any of that?
A little bit, but there's certain things that you can't blame the quarterback for. You can't blame for how he's been coached or taught or their system. Everybody says, well, he's a system quarterback. Well, that's not his fault. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Cam Newton coming out. They ran all kinds of crazy stuff at Auburn. He only played 1 year there. He played at JUCO, but you can't fault him for that. What you have to look at is how he delivers the ball, how he throws it under pressure, how he handles the team, how he leads the team, and things of that nature. So there's certain projections that you have to say, well, how will he fit into what we do, or how can we adjust to what we do that suits him? And then you try to make a good correlation and figure out if he's a fit or not.
Do you think your system is an easy fit for most quarterbacks? That's another thing that I've heard or everyone talks about.
I think it is
Jay
very
Gruden
easy.
can plug and play anybody.
I think it's very easy. We adapt to what they can do, and I think we have enough in our offense where we can make it simple for a quarterback, get the ball out of his hands. If you're accurate, if you can see coverage, then I think you'll be very successful. We can protect you a little bit. But eventually, Chris, it's going to be 3rd down and 8 in a critical situation. You're going to have to sit your foot in the ground, and you're going to have to hit a crossing route or a deep dig or a curl or whatever it is. And you're going to stand in there. You're going to have to re-mic. You're going to have to adjust the protection. You're going to have to throw the ball under duress, cover 0 against Philadelphia or whoever it is. You're going to have to adjust. You're going to have to make some plays. 1st and 2nd down, we'll try to do the best we can to protect you with some bootlegs, some screens, and all that stuff to get the ball out of your hand. But eventually, we're going to be behind by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. We're going to have to get quick scores. You're going to have to throw it in known passing situations where we can't just throw 3-yard hitches or screens.
Who even runs a 3-yard hitch?
Nobody. I just said that.
So to Alex Smith, how much do you have to change your system for Alex Smith? How much will it involve his input and what he likes, what he wants to do, things he's done in the past? Like, what is the next 3 months for you in terms of adapting to him?
I don't think we have to really adapt a whole lot. I think we're going to teach them our concepts and our offense because we've done a lot of the similar things that they've done. Andy Reid comes from the same tree, so to speak, as what we do, the shallow crosses, drives, all that stuff that we run. So he's going to easily adapt, just going to adapt to the terminology that we run. And as part as some of the things that he's very good at, we've been doing. We just can do a little bit more and add to it a little bit.
Are you going to run more RPOs?
You know what? I was thinking about that, Chris, and I think every play actually is an RPO, isn't it? It is a run-pass option. I mean, if you drop back the pass and I call a pass play and the rush is coming up and they play two-man and the middle of the field just vacates, it's a run option. You can run it. But, yes, we will have some. We did some last year. I don't know.
Are you going to run more plays? RPO's been in the NFL forever because you throw like the little bubble off of a run based on leverage, or the little one-step hitch based on corner off.
Yeah, we did that 2011 in Cincinnati.
I mean, Joe Gibbs did that in 2004, and his offense was from the 70s and 80s. Are you going to run more quarterback, put the ball in the belly of the running back, and read the backside linebacker to see what his reaction is, to see if he's going to throw it, pull it, or give it?
There will be part of that. We did that a little bit last year. Teams are doing that a little bit more. We're not going to make a whole offense out of it, but there will be, some of that's pretty good. You got to have a back, too, that is good at that stuff. The back is very, very important in that also. Because if he does hang back, that linebacker does, and you give it, you got to run, and you got to find daylight and hit it and go.
You should just assume he's getting it every time. But it's so funny that the RPO term is so popular. I don't know if you watch the Super Bowl, but Al Michaels is calling the Super Bowl, and every play now is, it's an RPO.
Yeah,
like no, it's
not true.
It's a bootleg.
Like, totally not true.
They're not running RPO.
Yeah,
or the receivers on the backside see they're blocking, so he's never going to throw it to those guys.
It's an occasional thing. It's probably about 8 to 10% probably called in the game, maybe.
One of the things I've heard about Alex Smith is he has to have a running game to have success. His best years have come off great running games, and maybe he enhances the team's ability to run a football, but does he have to have a great running game to be a good quarterback?
Well, I think most quarterbacks would agree that they would like to have a running game to go along with their passing game. I mean, every quarterback that's been successful for the most part, even like you look at Drew Brees and Tom Brady, their most successful years when they've been able to run the ball. Drew Brees last year with the backs that they had, they have 2 Pro Bowl backs they were very good. They handed the ball off. Tom Brady, when he's good, they have 2 or 3 backs they can hand the ball to. Philadelphia's offense was very good because they have a strong running game to go along with their passing game with Alshon Jeffrey and the rest of the crew and Ertz. So you have to be balanced in this league to be successful. I don't care how good you are at quarterback.
But I mean, Tom Brady's one of those guys. I was part of a team that lost the Patriots 52-7.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they ran it more than 4 times.
You guys played cover 2 the whole snap, the whole game. I remember that.
Every single down, just straight cover 2.
It was a cover 2 beating clinic. If you want to beat Tampa 2, go to that game. I'll never forget it. You played it every snap.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran lightning hook M. They just hit the back for game 9, and they hit the curls in the windows, and it was great.
No, it was not great. It was embarrassing.
I mean, it was great to show a cover 2 beating clinic.
Sometimes I didn't like those games, but I didn't mind being down like that because we'd go into 2-minute drill and then I'd get like 7 catches because I'd be the only one that wanted to try hard. Yeah, sure, let's go to 2-minute drill. I'll pad my stats here.
Yeah.
Last thing on Alex Smith. One of the things that people have talked about is that Bruce just signed Alex Smith out of the blue. Did you have a chance to look at Alex Smith? Did you have a chance to have an input in getting Alex Smith, or was that a Bruce signing?
When you go over quarterbacks, there's certain quarterbacks you don't have to really put on the tape and study. Alex Smith has been doing this for a long time. He's been successful for a very long time. You've seen him on tape. If you're a coach, you're going to watch Alex Smith over the years. So it's more of a, if he were available, if we could get him, how do you feel about Alex Smith? I feel great about Alex Smith. He's a great quarterback. He's very smart. We know he's a great leader everywhere he's been. Everybody's had nothing but positive things to say about him. So yeah, and then the deal got done.
So is it like a Tiger Woods fist pump, or?
It was more of a, I can't believe he got it done. I can't believe we got this guy. I was very surprised, because he was under contract with the Chiefs, so it's not like it's, I hated to lose Kendall Fuller in a 3rd-round pick, but to get a quarterback like Alex Smith, I think it's worth it.
That's one of those things that you have to give up. I actually love the trade as well, and I think most people, when they look at the trade as just what it was, absolutely love the trade as well. And Alex Smith seems like a guy to me that fits the personality of this locker room.
I think he can adapt to any locker room personality. That's what makes him a great leader, is he can adapt to all kinds of different personalities around him. That's what quarterbacks have to do. That's what leaders do.
He's a chameleon.
He is a chameleon.
I want to ask you about the free agent process and some of the guys that we signed in free agency, but I want to ask you this. Let's just say you look at a guy and you say, I want him.
Yes.
Do you get him?
No.
If you walked in and said, "This is the guy that we need," obviously there are costs involved in certain players. But if you really want a guy, does that – because you talk about a Redskins process. Like there's the scout's grade, there's everyone's grade, the coach's grade. But if you said, my grade is A, he is a 1 out of 5 player, go get him. Do they make a big effort to go get your guy?
Absolutely. We try to make an effort. And usually when I say something like that, it's not just my opinion. It's the coach's opinion. It's Coach Tom Sula's opinion. It's Coach Minuski's. It's Coach Kavanaugh's. It's, Coach O'Connell. It's Ike Hilliard. Whoever it is, the position that we're talking about, it's a group effort. And then we all have the same type of grade on them. Very seldom do I have I got to have this guy, and then the majority of everybody else says this guy's not very good. Usually we're all together on the same page. Now, we don't always get that player. There's cost involved, like you said, unfortunately, but we do make an effort to get the guys that we all like.
How does it work with some of your own guys? Like I'm imagining right now if I'm a scout or I'm in the front office, not in the coaching staff, and I'm part of signing Terrell Pryor, and all of a sudden he's not playing well, that I'm thinking, man, I look bad because these coaches aren't playing my guy. How does it work with your own guys?
That happens. I think sometimes there's a disconnect. There's, the coaches and the scouts sometimes have that little bit of different opinion on guys. But at the end of the day, we all understand that the more opinions you have on players, actually, the better it is. And we're going to have some arguments. We're going to butt heads from time to time. But at the end of the day, when decisions are made, we're on the same team. We're all trying to get better.
Talking to Jay Gruden on the Team 980. See, I'm a huge fan of continuity, and especially with coaching staffs. And I think it's got to take some time for the scouting department to understand your needs, your wants, your system. How long do you think that takes?
It shouldn't take that long. I think their job is to find the best players to fit any system, really. I think, and then it's our job to adapt the player to our system. Very few times do you have a player that's so good, like – let's say Aaron Donald became available fictionally. I mean, everybody would agree that we can put him and play him in any system, right? There's guys like that. Any receiver that is really good. If Antonio Brown became available, you'd say, well, I think we can plug and play this guy. You know what I mean? And then there's very few guys. Now you're talking about it towards the middle of your roster, towards the end of the roster. Now we have to figure out, can he help us as a backup? And then more importantly, where does he fit in special teams? And that's where we have to start to really look right now. We have to add some depth to our roster. We have to add some special team players and really help out our group. But overall, our scouts are going to give us the best athletes, the best possible players at their positions. Our coaches will grade them and figure out if it's a system fit. And if he's not so-called a system fit, then we'll figure out ways to play him and adapt our system.
Yeah, like an Aaron Donald. Let's just say the hypothetical. He comes free, or the Rams decide that they're going to trade Aaron Donald to you, and you get him. And Aaron Donald
put him in nose guard.
Aaron Donald says to you, I'm coming – and I'm playing only if you switch to a 4-3 and I can play inside. Would you switch?
Probably.
I would switch. Aaron Donald's unbelievable. Some of your free agents right now. Let's talk about the guys. How excited are you about Richardson? I know you liked him.
Yeah, I loved him coming out. Colorado, he was an explosive guy, man. He could run. He's a good kid. But he's had a couple injuries and hasn't had quite the production at Seattle that you like, but we actually like his speed and the ability for him to take the top off because he can really run. And I think he's overcome the injuries and he needs an opportunity to get some balls, some shots down the field. And I think if it's one thing that you can say our receiving core probably did not have was a blazing speed guy last year, and this guy gives us that element.
How big was it to sign guys like Zach Brown and Mason?
I think it's important. I think Zach Brown's first time in our defense, making the calls and all that stuff, having Mason by him, making the calls, helping him along the way. Same thing, 2 years in a row. I think both of them will be a lot better. I think Mason makes Zach better. I think Zach makes Mason better, and I think both of them together makes our defense better.
Is there any guys out there, and you don't have to say who it is, that you really, really wanted, that maybe you came up short or maybe they went somewhere else?
Oh, yeah, that happens every year. Yeah, every year.
You
kind of kick the can for a couple
7 more
days.
calls.
Gosh dang it. I didn't get this guy. I really wanted this guy. But then you got to get over it, and you got to coach the guys you have and be excited about it. I'm excited about the team we have right now, the core that we have right now, and then the ability to add some key elements in this draft because there's some good players in the draft, not only in the first round, but second round, fourth, fifth. I think we can find some decent players.
Are you one of the guys that when you look at the draft, you say, we're drafting best player available no matter what all the way through, or do you start looking at need?
I think you look at need initially and then see where where the players are in that particular position, and if there aren't any, or there's a lot of them, or you might be able to get one in the second round, then maybe you go to best player available. But I think it kind of works hand in hand. You'd be an idiot if you have a major need on your team to ignore that need and go take a best player if there's a good one at that position. But you'd also be an idiot to just take a player at that position of need when there's way better players available. You know what I mean? So it goes hand in hand. You got to look at need, and hopefully our biggest need is the best player. That's the intent.
What's your biggest need?
I'm not telling. I don't know. We don't really have a major need. I mean, we have some places where we'd like to improve.
So you're going to go best available.
Yeah, we'll go best available.
Do you have a guy in the first round?
Was that a clap or was that a laugh in the background? What was that?
I don't know. It's a laugh track. I hate laugh track.
Oh, okay. Did I say a joke? Is this funny? Am I a clown? What is this?
Am I wearing clown makeup out here? Who do you like in the first round? Do you have a guy that you like? Do you have 3 or 4 that you like?
Oh, you have to have at least 13, 16, 7. Yeah, there's right now in my initial stages, there's at least 20, 25 players that easily go at 13. Easy, we could take at 13. So that's exciting. That means we're going to get one. Then the discussions will take place. Him. If not him, then who? Then where? Then you know what I mean? So.
Do you spend more time on the first and second round guys evaluating them than the later round guys?
No, I spend a lot of time on them, but I spend a lot more time on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round because there's a lot more of them, so you have to spend more time on those guys.
How long does it take to evaluate a player?
It takes a while. I mean, you have to watch. I'd like to watch at least, especially the first, second, third round guys. You try to watch 4 or 5 games on them. That takes a little bit of time. And then
so you do watch those guys more?
Probably. But now with the access that you have, it's pretty cool now. Like if you're watching a running back, for instance, let's say Saquon Barkley, with all these ability to just cut up and watch their touch tape. Just say, give me all Barkley's
every
carries,
run.
Bam. Give me all his pass protections, bam. It's all in order. It's not like you just have to, like, when I first got here, you had to watch every game. Like, find a pass protection. Can I see this guy pass block just once? And you go through, it takes you 2 hours to find it now. It's just click of a button. So the process of evaluating is a lot easier now than it has been.